How McDonald's really makes billions. There is a moment that happens thousands of times every minute. A hand reaches toward a drive-through window. A paper bag changes hands. The window closes. The car disappears. The entire transaction may last less than a minute. And yet behind that bag is one of the most sophisticated business systems in the world. Most people think McDonald's makes billions by selling burgers. That is the obvious answer. But it is not the complete one, because the burger is only the visible part of the machine. To understand McDonald's, you have to look underneath it. In 1954, Ray Kroc was selling milkshake machines when he visited a small restaurant in San Bernardino, California. It belonged to two brothers, Dick and Mac McDonald. What Kroc saw was unusual. The menu was simple. The food was fast. The process was standardized. There was almost no unnecessary movement. The brothers had not simply created a restaurant. They had created a system. And Kroc realized something that would change the future of fast food. If the system worked once, perhaps it could work 1,000 times. That idea became the foundation of McDonald's. Instead of building every restaurant itself, McDonald's built a franchise network. Independent business owners could operate restaurants under the McDonald's brand, following its systems and standards. And this is where the economics become interesting. At the end of 2025, about 95% of McDonald's restaurants were franchised. ESSEC.gov, https://www.essec.gov/EDGAR/MCD-20251231231.htm $UTM_source equals chatgpti.com. That means the corporation does not have to operate every restaurant directly to benefit from the sales happening inside them. The franchisee operates the restaurant. Customers buy the food, and McDonald's receives revenue through mechanisms including rent and royalties. In 2025, McDonald's reported about $16.5 billion in revenue from franchised restaurants. Approximately $10.4 billion came from rent. About $6 billion came from royalties. ESSEC.gov, https://www.essec.gov/archives/edgar/63908/0000035/r55.htm $UTM_source equals chatgpt.com. Now the burger starts to look different. The customer thinks they are buying lunch. The franchisee sees a business. McDonald's sees a long-term economic relationship. And then there is the land. Under conventional franchise arrangements, McDonald's generally owns or secures the underlying property and leases it to the franchisee as part of the restaurant relationship. SEC.gov, https://www.sec.gov/archives/edgar/63908/0000063908026000035/MCD-2025-1231.htm UTM_source equals chatgpt.com. That matters because food disappears. Real estate does not. A burger can be eaten in 10 minutes. A location can remain valuable for decades. So when you look at a McDonald's, you are not just looking at a kitchen. You are looking at a business attached to a physical location, connected to a franchise agreement, connected to a global brand. And the brand itself is another asset. Imagine entering a McDonald's in a city you have never visited. You may not know the neighborhood. You may not know the employees. You may not know the owner. But you recognize the golden arches. You already have expectations. You know what the menu roughly looks like. You know what the experience should feel like. That familiarity reduces uncertainty. And human beings are naturally drawn toward things they understand. This is why McDonald's sells something more powerful than food. It sells predictability. But predictability alone would not create a global empire. The system also has to adapt. McDonald's keeps its identity consistent while changing parts of its menu for different countries and cultures. India has the Makaloo Tikki. Japan has localized products. The Middle East has its own regional adaptations. corporate.mcdonalds.com https://corporate.mcdonalds.com/our-we-operate-internationally.html?utm_source equals chatgpt.com. The formula is simple to describe, but difficult to execute. Be familiar enough to be recognizable. Be flexible enough to remain relevant. And repeat it on an enormous scale. By the end of 2025, McDonald's reported 45,356 restaurants worldwide, with more than 43,000 franchised, licensed, or affiliated locations. SEC.gov, https://www.sec.gov/archives/edgar/data/63908/0000000 63908-2600035/r25.htm?utm_source equals chatgpt.com. That scale creates another advantage: information. One restaurant may discover something that works. Another restaurant may reveal a problem. A successful product can spread. A better process can be repeated. A new technology can reach thousands of locations. A tiny improvement, multiplied across millions of transactions, can become enormous. This is the hidden power of scale. You do not need every improvement to be dramatic. You only need small improvements to repeat. And repeat. And repeat. That may be the real genius behind McDonald's. Not the hamburger. Not the fries. Replication. Ray Kroc saw a small restaurant and imagined thousands. Today, the company operates a global network in which the same basic business architecture can function across continents. Customers see a meal. Franchisees see an opportunity. McDonald's sees a system. And perhaps that is the most important lesson. The world's most powerful businesses are not always built around extraordinary products. Sometimes they are built around ordinary products surrounded by extraordinary systems. The burger disappears in minutes. The customer leaves. The wrapper becomes trash. But the building remains. The brand remains. The franchise relationship remains. The next customer arrives, and the machine starts again. That is how McDonald's really makes billions. Not because one burger is worth billions, but because millions of ordinary transactions have been connected to a system designed to keep working long after the burger is gone.